You want the comfort of a recliner with the support of a race seat? Next Level Racing says the PRS1 delivers both. Let's put that to the test. Welcome to the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and today we're checking out the Next Level Racing PRS1 racing seat. This is a bucket style recliner, so whether you're finishing off a DIY build or replacing a worn out seat or purchasing a new seat to go with that new rig, this could be a perfect option, and it has all sorts of features that separates it from a basic seat. For me, I was planning on upgrading the seat that was on my rig. Now, the PRS1 seat goes for $349 globally. Unfortunately, here in the States, you're looking at $399 due to tariffs, but it's always free shipping coming from Next Level Racing, so that's actually nice. The PRS1 features dual locking sliding rails, adjustable lumbar support, and endless recline adjustment. They also make the PRS2, which is the same cost and about 2 inches wider with mostly the same features. The PRS1 arrives in a giant box, and when you open it up, you'll notice it comes in 2 different halves, along with an instruction manual and a smaller box with all the tools and necessary parts. Assembly was super straightforward. You just remove the protective covers, remove the pre-installed hardware and the black plastic covers on each hinge, and then you join the 2 halves together. Then reinstall those 4 bolts, bolt the covers back on, and boom, you're ready to go. Before we bolt this thing into our rig, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the seat, and you can see it is a sharp looking seat. It's got that classic racing look to it with those seatbelt loops at the top, each framed in clean black plastic. The design mixes these black borders and this Alcantara-ish type material with this gray aero mesh in the seating area, you know, the area where your body actually contacts. That breathable mesh, it's going to be clutch with summer just around the corner. The look of the stitching and the quality of the materials feel top notch. And the branding is tasteful as well. You got the Next Level Racing embroidered at the top on the front and the back, and then 1, 2, 3 different PRS1 logos at the top as well. One standout feature of this seat is the reclining system. Instead of a lever with limited amount of positions, you've got these triangular shaped knobs with unlimited adjustability. That's a win for finding your perfect lean. On the right side, there's also a knob for dialing in the lumbar support pressure. And yeah, my back is already thanking me. The seat rails come pre-installed on the seat, and they actually look a lot beefier than most of the seat rails that I see from a lot of seats out there, and they are dual locking, so both sides lock it in place, which is just that much more secure. To slide the seat, just pull up on the center handle. Easy stuff. Right away, this feels like a huge upgrade over my previous seat. I mean, you're talking about more styling, better materials, and more comfort-focused adjustments, which is really important. So if you're a sim racer who spends hours in your rig, you're going to find that very important. Installing the PRS1 is about as straightforward as it gets, but there are a few things that you're going to want to check or keep in mind while doing so. Ultimately, you're going to use 4 bolts on the bottom of the seat rails to bolt this or screw this into wood or get it on your rig, but those measurements are kind of critical. So those rails, they've got 4 holes on each side, which gives you a little bit of front and back adjustability, but you're going to need to match its front to back spacing at 275, 285, 315 and 325 millimeters apart. The left-right spacing between the rails is 355 millimeters, which is pretty standard. The seat itself is about 22 inches wide at the base, so if your rig has any clearance limitations, double check that first. From there, it's just 4 bolts into the rig. I had to teeter the seat into position a little to get the front bolts started, but once those were in, the rest came together quickly. And honestly, I probably should have done the rear bolts first. Even with that, it was simple and easy. For a lot of us, a sim rig isn't just a racing machine, but it's where we spend countless hours each day browsing the internet, chatting with friends, maybe painting cars, but comfort is very important. In the case of the PRS1, I've spent all day sessions in this seat, and I can tell you it's very, very comfortable. And one of the biggest reasons, I think, is that endlessly adjustable backrest. No more this notch is too high or that one's too low. You just dial it in until it's just right. That fine control really helps spread my body weight evenly across the seat without putting any strain on my back. The second win is the adjustable lumbar support. So like the backrest, I did find a sweet spot. That is, until I'd been sitting there a little too long. And then with a simple twist of the knob, I could add or release pressure on my lower back. It's subtle, but just like in a high-end car, that tiny adjustment makes a real difference. It offers quick relief in those long stints, and even switching back to where you had it before gives your body a secondary break. The padding strikes a nice balance. It's firm enough to feel durable and supportive, but still soft enough to be genuinely comfortable. I also think the fabric choices help. That mix of Alcantara style material and aero mesh feels more breathable than vinyl or cheap leather, and that extra airflow adds real comfort, especially while heading into summer. As for fit, this seat feels really dialed in for someone about my size. Now keep in mind, this is the PRS1, the narrower of the two options, so it is rated for a 38-inch waist. Now I am a shorter driver. Now I don't mean small, I mean compact. I actually have a 33-inch waist, I have medium broad shoulders, and I do have that middle-aged belly. But down at the legs, or the bottom of the seat, I got plenty of room, with just a slight press from the side bolsters on my thighs. The backrest is roomy up top, and right around where my rib cages are, the side supports just slightly touch me, then open up again at the waist. The bolsters are fairly deep overall, which gives you that locked-in feel without being restrictive. And that snug fit, it really shows its value in full motion racing. Without belts, a flatter seat can let you slide around, losing some of the motion cues. With the PRS1, that little extra support actually amplifies the feeling of movement and immersion. I've done long sessions in this seat, and compared to bargain options off of Amazon, I can tell you this is a big step up. It's comfortable, it's breathable, and it's supportive in all the right places. So I've talked about what it's like to sit in this seat, the PRS1, for hours on end, and it is very comfortable. But when we're racing, it's a whole different story. Now we're putting real pressure on the pedals, twisting through tight corners, and demanding a lot more from the seat. So how does it hold up under racing conditions? First off, I was impressed with how solid the seat felt, without sacrificing comfort. Under heavy braking, where you're really leaning into that backrest, the PRS1 stayed firm and supportive. The seat back didn't flex or shift, and the reclining mechanism held its position perfectly. Even with my full weight pressing into it, there was no give, no slipping, just strong, consistent support. I was also curious about the lumbar support under pressure. What happens when you've dialed it all the way out and then press into it hard while racing? Turns out, it holds up just fine. It kept its shape, stayed comfortable, and never shifted on me. There were no creaks, no groans, no signs of weakness, just a solid, well-built seat doing its job. I mentioned earlier that the PRS1 has fairly deep side bolsters, much deeper than most reclining seats. That pays huge dividends during full motion or aggressive driving. No more sliding around and having to reset my position after a hard corner. I felt locked in and centered, like I was almost strapped down without actually needing the belts. That added snugness really boosts the feeling of control and focus while driving. That said, this is very much a GT style seat. My rig is set up for that more upright position anyway, and the PRS1 fits it perfectly. If you're chasing a full recline for a Formula style cockpit, you're probably better off with a fixed back racing seat, but for a GT setup, this one nails it. And let's not forget, if you want a seat that's not going to turn you into a sauna in the summer, that's still got premium feel, breathable fabric, and plenty of support, well, the PRS1 checks all of those boxes. Well, I did enjoy my time driving with the PRS1 racing seat, and it definitely was an upgrade over the less expensive seat from Next Level Racing, and I can tell you, you can see the difference in money and where it goes and what the payoffs are. It is that much of an upgrade for sure. So to make sure that I hit all of my marks, let's go ahead and point out the most important aspects of this review with the good, the not so good, and the bottom line, starting off with the good, and that being comfortable for long racing sessions. Breathable mesh seating material. Stylish design with quality stitching. Heavy-duty smooth sliding rails. Works on most rigs. Seatbelt friendly. Endless back angle adjustments. Adjustable lumbar support. Deep side bolster for secure fit. Easy installation. Excellent GT driving position. And now on to the not so good. It is slightly narrower for some drivers, but that's what the PRS2 is for. More expensive than bargain seats. Not ideal for formula driving positions. And now on to the bottom line. The PRS1 from Next Level Racing isn't just a racing seat, but it is a really well thought out racing seat designed for sim racers. They took the things that bother us, that lumbar support. It is so key to getting long-term comfortable. The endless adjustability is something that I've wanted from a sim racing seat for a very long time. Having limited click positions just never has been that ideal. And when you're trying to make an adjustment to get a little more longevity or comfort on long runs, one click in either direction is probably too much. This gets you into that just right zone. So yeah, the endlessly adjustable backrest, game changer. The built-in lumbar support, legit. The breathable mesh and quality materials, the chef's kiss for long sessions. Now, is it as hardcore as a full carbon fixed back racing seat? No, it definitely isn't. But what it is a good rendition of a GT racing seat without the sacrifices. It gives you that comfort and longevity that most of our sim racers really need. So even at that $399, you know, that tariffed price, I gotta tell you, you get a lot for that amount of money. You get the materials that are designed and have sim racing in mind. The right materials and the right places and the kind of adjustments that make this a perfect sim racing seat. Now, admittedly, you can get a budget seat off of Amazon for a fraction of the price of this one, and you can get one of the seats from Next Level Racing that is less expensive, like the one that I was stepping up from, or you could go to Craigslist where you get some kind of sketchy things that you never know who's done what with those seats. But all in all, I think this one justifies its price with the advanced features and the well thought out design. So if you want real comfort without losing that locked in race feel, the PRS1 is worth a serious look. Well, I think that tells you everything that you need to know about the Next Level Racing PRS1 racing seat. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to stay in the loop on everything sim racing. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.